So what happened during the Holocaust in Greece was people were told, governments were told, not only in Greece but in other European countries, that the Jews were welcome to come back to Jerusalem. So they all started gathering up their stuff and going back. And the Greek churches, and they all helped the Jews to go back. They would pay their fare. They did whatever they had to do, visas, whatever was required at that time to get the Jews back. And people were happy, They didn't realize they were going back to concentration camps. And the people that were helping them leave did not realize they were helping the Jews. They were eliminating them and sending them to concentration camps. But once it was learned that the Jews that were going to Germany, they were all getting gathered up and killed, then in Greece in particular, the Greek church kicked in and they started hiding the Jews. And the Greek church tried to save them from discovery. And they hid a lot of Jews. And once people realized that going to Germany was not in their best interest, they sought refuge in other places. But the people, they were homeless. They were totally dependent on families took in other families. And that's how some of them survived. And from there, little by little, they made their way out, farther out and farther out. Most of them hoping to come to the U.S. That's all I know. But when the Greeks first sent the Jews back, they thought they were doing them a favor. They didn't realize that people were being killed. But it was the Greek church that helped the Jews to escape the concentration camps once they knew the reality of the situation. And the Greeks and the Jews go back all the way back to Jesus' time. So once again, they helped each other,
Why does that make you upset?
What, the Holocaust?
Yeah.
It's not something that's
Okay,
festive.
well, because I hear about it and yeah, it's kind of depressing, but it doesn't make me depressed. Every time we bring it up, you don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to know anything. I don't want to hear anything, because it's very tragic what people do to each other. And I have heard some of the stories firsthand from old people, Jews and non-Jews. And during the war, that when the Nazis had taken over the small island that you're going to see next year, when my mother was a child, there was one point the Nazis, they had taken over the village, and they had gone to my mother's house, and they had lined up everybody in the yard, made them face the ground, lie down side by side, one next to the other, and they were going to execute everybody. So I don't want to hear nothing about no Holocaust or Jews or Nazis or anything. It was a difficult time. And my mother, to this day, she won't tell us the details of what went on. But over the years, my last 50 years, I've heard just a couple of things that she said, that the people were so malnutritioned that they had sores in between their fingers. They had lice. Sometimes they had nothing to eat except for olives. This was during the Depression. And then my father's side of the family, they didn't have olive groves. They had sesame seeds, so they only ate sesame seeds, and there was 11 children. I've heard stories from people that escaped at night in boats and didn't have anything to eat for days out in the open sea, and had nothing to drink but ocean water. So no, I don't want to hear anything about the Holocaust. I'm not visiting the Holocaust in Greece, no memorial, nothing. I'm done.
Wait.
Oh,
So
no.
they basically came to your mom's house, and
The Nazis
and your mom experienced this firsthand.
She was a child. She was only 10 at the time. My mother was born in 1932.
And she's the one that had to stand out there too.
Yeah, they were gonna kill everybody. What happened was, I guess somebody was going through the house or going through the yard, and one of those weather things was up on the roof. What's it called? A weather vane?
Yeah.
It looks like a chicken,
Yeah,
sometimes
that's
like
a
a bird.
vane.
and as the wind was blowing and
Yeah.
that thing was rickety around and around making noise,
Yeah.
the soldier or whoever was in the yard thought it sounded like radar. So they just threw everybody down and lined them up. And then at the last minute, they started pointing to the weather thing and they were laughing, you know, but it wasn't funny. They almost shot the people to death for nothing over some rickety noise coming from the house. But there's a lot of stuff that went on. It was a difficult time to see those airplanes coming down over the mountains, and people would run to the hills and hide in the caves and under cliffs of rocks and things like that. I mean, when you're a kid and you experience that, you don't, I mean, that's something you'll never forget. The terror of it all. Just the terror. So, one movie that came out that was very nice, I thought. I've seen it twice. Colonel something or other's Mandolin, about an Italian